I'm starting a little early because I wanted to make sure that all was okay. Lighting, all the things. Let me share this. I know that there's a lot going on with the Iowa case. So I wanted to get as many people on here as possible because, you know, there's a lot going on with the Iowa case, like I said. So just wanted to let people know that this is also going on. I'm really excited about it. Hi, Ange. I know I'm a little bit early, but like I said, I wanted to make sure everything was all set. Want to get everybody ready, prepared for this awesome interview that I'm about to do. I'm really excited about it. Hello, everybody. I'm really excited about the interview. Like I said, if you guys, I have taken, hi, Gracie, hi, Nicole. I have taken quite a bit of questions between, the interview is going to start in 3 minutes. Actually, yes, this is happening. Yes, the house has been demolished, but I am talking, the interview is with Sarah Schultz, who is the missing Iowa trucker who's been missing since November 20th under very suspicious circumstances. It's his wife's very first interview. It's an exclusive with his wife. And there's been a lot of questions, like even surrounding her. And so a lot of people have DM'd me like questions for her. A lot of people have DM'd me questions like around his. It's really suspicious. So I am going to give you guys a very high level overview of his case, what's been going on. And then if you guys have questions that you guys want to put, if you guys want to put those in the comments, you can do those. Like I said, he had a life Sarah didn't know about. Ange. That is, a lot of people said that. Ange said she feels like he had a life that his wife Sarah maybe didn't know about. And Ange, you're not the only one who thought that by any means. I got a lot of anonymous questions, you guys. It's too late, obviously, for me to take the anonymous questions, but I took all of the questions that were in any of my videos that I did on him, along with the DM questions. That's a question, Corey, is what the FBI has not been engaged. And she is, actually, I need to put that down as a question. Why is the FBI not engaged? That is one of the things she is upset about. And you're interviewing her sister about him. She's missing and you're interviewing her sister about him? No, he's missing. David is missing. And I'm interviewing his wife about him missing. So that's who I'm interviewing. I'm interviewing Sarah Schultz about her husband, David, who has been missing since November 20th. And Corey, she has asked Sac City, Iowa's Sheriff's Department to call in the FBI, and like I don't know if they're refusing or, yeah, that's what I thought. Local law enforcement has to call in the FBI, and there is a need, they're saying we don't need the FBI yet. So let me give you guys a really high level overview of sort of his case. It's very like suspicious. It's very, it's just like a weird case. And like I said, I don't think that Sarah has anything to do with it. She did DM me and say that she's running about 10 minutes late. She's rushing back home from work. So she will be joining us at about 10 after 1. So Silvana, we are talking, I'm doing an interview with Sarah Schultz, who is the wife of the missing Iowa man, the trucker who has been missing since November 20th under extremely suspicious circumstances. This is the first interview. Hi, Casey. This is the first interview that she has done on TikTok since he has been missing. And it's just like a very bizarre, weird case. So let me explain it to you guys. For those of you, hi, Nicole, for those of you guys who don't really know the case that well. So November 20th. So David Schultz is from Wall Lake, Iowa. And so, Stephanie, I'm going to get into those right now. So he is from Wall Lake, Iowa. Okay. And his job was that, hi, Andrea, he transported pigs. Like he picked up pigs and would transport them to a hog buying center. In fact, it was called Weichman's Hog Buying Center. And he would pick them up and from Sac City and transport them to Eagle Grove, Iowa. This was a very common route for him that he did very frequently. In fact, he did it just the day before that he was missing. Okay. So, sorry. So anyways, he had to get his truck. Was getting his truck fixed that day, the day that he went missing. So he was about an hour and a half actually late picking up the pigs. So he called Sarah and said, I'm running late. Have clothes out for me. I gotta go. So when he got there, saw the clothes, he was like, oh no, Sarah, these clothes aren't good enough for me or something. They don't have pockets in them. Ran upstairs, changed, said goodbye, love you to Sarah, and was out the door. And that was the last time that he saw her, heard from her. She saw him, heard from him, anything. Okay. He left. He went and picked up the hogs, the pigs. He had 121. Hi, Ashley. Ashley's here, the reckoning coach. She actually did an amazing reading on, like, if you guys don't follow her, you need to. She's amazing. She did an amazing reading on David and what could have happened to him, which honestly, Ashley, I don't know if you saw, a lot of people were saying exactly what you said. They were like, that's what they thought could have happened to him. So it's just interesting, even before you called it, which isn't a big surprise. But anyways, so they were saying that, okay, so he left and never made it to Eagle Grove, or to Sac City, never made it to Sac City to drop the hogs off at Weichman's Hog Buying. Never made it, okay? So was supposed to be there by like around midnight, never made it, never made it. Here's the interesting thing about it. He was seen on video at marker 126 Travel Center on Highway 20 east of Fort Dodge for 16 minutes at around 11:15 p.m., okay? Then the very last time he was seen was at 12:18 on Highway 20, the intersection of Highway 20 and Highway 71, going north, okay? The last time that he was ever seen. So this is the David Schultz case, the missing Iowa man trucker who's been missing since November 20th. That was the last time he was ever seen, okay? His truck was found at 3 p.m. the next day, parked on a travel portion of a road at the intersection of 190th and Union Avenue in Sac City. The pigs were still in it, all 121. His wallet was still in it. It had $2,000 cash in it. His cell phone was in it, and his jacket was found in a ditch nearby, okay? There has been, Savannah, thank you so much for being here and being a moderator. You are like such a good moderator. There has been no sign of him ever since. Nothing. The sheriffs have searched 100,000 acres of him, for him. They have had airplanes with infrared to see, if there's any hot, those can see if there's any like heat traction. They can pick up any heat. Nothing. They're legitimately, it's like he just completely disappeared. There has been no sign. All 121 piglets were dropped off and dispersed all over, so no one was able to check their feces. I didn't know that. That's interesting, Ange. So it is like he just disappeared. Absolutely no sign whatsoever. So his wife, Sarah, is going to be here in about 5 minutes to talk to us about this. No, there's not. The piglets, they don't think could have hurt him at all. This is David Schultz from Iowa, the missing truck driver who has been missing since November 20th. It's like he just, you guys, it's like he just picked up and just is missing. It's such a bizarre case. And so it couldn't have been robbery, right? Because his wallet with $2,000 cash was still in his truck with his cell phone, okay? And all the pigs were in there. Couldn't have been robbery, right? That's, his jacket was found in the ditch, like outside. It's very unlike him, right? I mean, I don't know, like Miss Weiwei, do you know him? I mean, I don't know him personally. His wife, Sarah, is saying the few times that I've talked to her, yes, this is very unlike him. Like, he knew this route like the back of his hand. It was the holiday season. He would never have just left his family. He had been, that's what his wife said, yes. So Christina K, that is what people are saying to his wife on social media, that he just ditched out on his life. And that's exactly what I was going to say, was his wife is saying there is no way in hell he would have done that, because he was 53 years old. He got married later in life and always wanted to have children, right? And he had later in life, at 40 years old, a little over 40 years old, he had 10-year-old twin boys. And they were like the light of his life. They were everything to him. And he never would have just left his two twins. Like, there's no way in hell he would have just picked up and left his babies. And they did not. They had like a good relationship. There was no, obviously they had ups and downs like any couple does, but it wasn't like they were struggling with anything. They just were. He was a hard worker. And he just, he just disappeared. And I want to say, if you guys did watch the Reckoning Co's reading, I don't know if Ashley's still in here. She said during her reading that, yeah, he did not just disappear. Like, he did not just walk out on his life. He came across very strongly in that reading and said that he did not. Hi, Ashley. If you want to come up and talk about any of your reading, you're more than welcome to. I'll invite you. And then obviously, if you want to come up and if I can find you, I'll invite you and talk about any of the reading. You're more than welcome to, because it was really interesting, because he came across very strong and said, like, he did not just walk away from his life at all. And oh, here's Ashley. Good. She can tell you guys a little bit more about the reading. Hi, Ashley.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you for jumping up here.
Of course.
And thank you for doing the reading. It was so good. Oh, she paused. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. So Ashley, do you want to sort of comment on that part, because a lot of people are, and I thought that was such a interesting part. I'm so glad that you like addressed that, because so many people said like he walked out on his life, he walked out on his wife, his life, and that came across very strong in your reading.
Yeah, even the loyalty card with the dog on the card, the loyalty card, when it was something about, I mentioned how you said about social media was questioning if there's a possibility of that. And boom, we got the loyalty card upright with the dog on it. So there was a lot that was confirming right from the start of the reading. I feel like he was confirming my wife has nothing to do with this, and it wasn't me trying to get away from my life. And I think that he kind of confirmed that in a way, because the reading mentioned that there was stress and that there was like this, I'm tired, I'm overworked. It wasn't like that was hidden. So there was like tension in his energy, but the tension was because I'm overworked, I'm exhausted, but not like my wife is forcing me to work, just I'm working a lot and I don't feel like I'm making the money that I should be making for the amount of energy that I'm expending. So I feel like he was very direct about confirming that it wasn't him escaping his life, although he was tired, but he wasn't trying to get away.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree. Like, he said that right from the beginning. Like, that was something that he really wanted to make loud and clear. And, Jerica asked, were you reading deceased energy? And I didn't pick that up really from you. Like,
I
you were,
didn't pick it up either. No, I don't. I mean, it's hard to tell, especially that early too. Like, not that it's necessarily early, but quickly. But it feels to me like at that point of that I did the reading that there was still, I guess I'd say, active energy coming from him.
Mhm. Yeah. And so much of what you said was, it's so it's funny enough, it doesn't shouldn't surprise me at all, because obviously your readings are so on point, that so many people said exactly what you were saying with like the child. He saw something, and you know that's where he kind of got in trouble. And that
Yeah.
sort of was the feeling that you kind of you were leaning towards.
And I feel like that's kind of why at first, what first was mentioned was how tired and exhausted he was, because I don't think he knew what he saw. Like it's one of those, it was reading to me like a situation where like maybe you're looking in the direction of something and the person over there assumes that you saw something you weren't supposed to see. But to me, it almost feels like he was in this almost like not like in a bad way, but like a zombie mode. Like I'm so tired and I'm just doing this because I have to bring home money for my family. I'm pushing forward, but I'm not really all the way paying attention to my surroundings. So it doesn't feel like he was actively like, oh, I know what's going on over there. And I think that that's what caught him off guard is because he didn't recognize.
Yeah. Sorry, his Sarah's here, so I'm just asking her to like
Okay.
request to be a guest. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you really quickly, and I know you're like super busy, so I really appreciate you jumping up here. Actually, what do you think like stood out to you the most about that reading?
Just kind of his unawareness to the whole situation. It's almost like there was this whole energy coming for him that he was just unaware of. Like it doesn't feel like it was anything that he was involved in that caused it. It feels like it was a situation of wrong place, wrong time type thing, but like as it's unfolding, he's still not knowing that it's going on. So it doesn't feel like it was anything that he was caught up in.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely felt that very strong. And Sarah, if you just push the guests button at the bottom, and you'll see where it says, and you can, because I'm trying to invite you, and it's not letting me invite you, at all. So I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with that at all. I don't know why it's not letting me invite you. So Ashley, is there anything else that you would want Sarah, especially the wife, to hear about your reading, that you think is important?
Let me pull some cards right now, but mainly just what is really sticking out to me is the fact that that loyalty card came up. It's like him saying, I won't leave. I didn't leave. I have distraction in reverse and road. He didn't know. Distraction in reverse, road, marriage, wedding. It feels like he was just not paying attention and was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it just keeps confirming to me with this marriage, wedding, upright card. As soon as you said the wife's name, he wasn't running away from her.
Oh, I love that. Like as soon as we said Sarah's name, he was like, "No, I'm not running away from her at all."
Literally, I got the marriage wedding card as soon as you said that. Upright. He wasn't running from her. It wasn't I got to get out of here situation.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I have boat in reverse and work in reverse. It's not something that he got caught up in. It's like I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time and I get stopped in my tracks.
So something happened to him as he was like doing his like work, right? That's like
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, it feels I don't know how they would have gotten him to stop on the road, but it feels like he stops on the road at one point. And I don't know, in the reading I was saying something about like a menace, like how people kind of weave in and out of traffic or like do some weird stuff as you're driving and try and get you to pull over. It feels like that happened, but I don't know how the truck got turned around. I don't know if that's staged or if he passed whatever it was that was trying to get him to stop and then turned around.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I know. I know. Is Sarah still in here? I'm not seeing her like comment at all anymore. And I'm trying to get her to come up here, but I'm not seeing like her comment or
Oh yeah, it could have been someone
Sarah, can
intentionally
you
blocking the road.
Sarah, can you invite yourself to come up, please? Because I'm trying and it's not working. So if you go to the guests at the bottom and just hit invite, like do you see the little guest two little things at the bottom? It looks like a pink and a blue. Just hit that and hit invite, and then you can come up in the box, please. It's not working for me. What's happening? What I don't
I
why
can hop off if you think maybe that's why.
I don't think it's that shouldn't be the reason why it's not working. What's happening when you're trying to get up, Sarah? What's it doing? Yeah, click that red and blue thing by the comment box. That's what should be happening. Um Yeah, that's how it should. That's how it works. Because you only need 100 people. She has over 200 people to get up in the box. So that's all you need, right, you guys? I'm pretty sure of. I was told that's all you need.
No idea.
Yeah, I think that's all you need. I'm pretty sure. She has 100. I thought she had 200 in something. But, uh-oh, maybe that's. Okay, well, I thought you thought it was 1,000. No, I thought it was 100, and then someone said 200. All right, you guys, everybody go. Pretty sure it's 300. Oh, Lord. Everybody go like her. Maybe we can. I thought it was you needed 100 for audio too, and then 200 to see her face, which is maybe, yeah, 1,000 maybe to show your face. And they updated it. Great. Well, that's great. That's awesome.
I just Googled it. It says well, I typed to go in on the box. It says 1,000.
1,000?
That doesn't feel right though.
I don't think it's 1,000 because I definitely was going in the box before 1,000.
I think that's to go live on your own.
That's what I think it is to go live on your own. Audio, you need 200. Okay, you guys, everybody go like her really quick. And or you can use someone else's account. People are saying you can use someone else's account. You know, you'd only need 1,000 to do your own. Sarah Magnificent Makeup. Do you guys see her right there? Sarah Magnificent Makeup. There she is. Everybody go like her. I didn't realize that. I thought she had 200 for some reason. So while we have you, Ashley, do you want to do, I mean, is there anything else? Does anyone else have a question? 233 now. What? Does anyone else have a question for Ashley about, particularly about this? Oh, pin her name. Savannah, can you pin her name for me, please? About David. I was looking at the wrong one. That's what I think. I was looking at the wrong two. She only needs about 50, you guys. So everybody go. Savannah, can you pin her name, please? Savannah, can you pin her name? She's only 30 away, you guys. She's at 171. Okay, see, we'll get this. We'll get this. So did he call someone when he stopped at the closed truck stop? Can you do anything like that, Ashley? Can you see if he like talked to anyone or like has talked to anyone since he was missing?
So I'm looking into, did he talk to anyone at the truck stop? It looks like there was like a passing conversation because I do have Eight of Wands and Knight of Swords, so those are both communication cards, but the Knight of Swords is like a quick moving energy, and I have the Queen of Swords in reverse, so it's almost like there's something said in passing to see if he saw what he saw, but not like an actual converse, not like he went up to talk to someone and it went wrong. And I have the Chariot as well over Eight of Pentacles. So it's like a one-sided, maybe someone said something to him, but it doesn't look like a back and forth conversation. It doesn't look like he reached out to anyone.
Does he have a feeling of like scare? Like, can you sense what his feelings were?
Yeah, let me see what his feelings were. Ten of Wands in reverse. I'm not necessarily carrying a heavy burden. Knight of Cups and Strength. I'm just trying to bring... It feels like he was just focused on making it through the day. It doesn't feel like there was anything... Like he was tired, but it's not necessarily something's going on that I'm avoiding or running from. It's more just like I'm tired and I'm trying to make it through this day.
And was he scared? Like, was he scared at all?
The Empress
Like,
in
did he have,
reverse. No,
did he
it
have,
doesn't look like he was scared.
so he didn't have any like weird feelings when he went to work that day?
No, I'd say no.
No suspicious things.
The feelings that I'm picking up on are just exhaustion and then like not knowing what's going on. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. He was just focused on making it through the day, and it feels like something completely caught him off guard in a way that like happening. Like almost like if whenever he pulled over, someone approached the truck, and in the first couple seconds of the conversation, he still had no idea why they were there. Like he didn't understand it. It's not something that he brought on.
Hmm.
Like what I mean is it's not like he was doing something shady and then it caught up to him. This is like, who are you? Like what are you doing by my I have no idea who you are. Like what is this about?
So he didn't know who it was at all. He was like completely caught off guard.
Yeah, no, it's like complete confusion. Almost like
Andrea wants to know if he's being held somewhere. And that was something that you had said, Ashley, in your original reading, was that you were sensing that he might be being held somewhere.
yeah, I have the wheel in reverse and King of Wands. That's like someone with a lot of power, and then the wheel is not turning, so I'm not being moved around. What's his energy right now? Getting like conflicting energies for him right now. Just like I'm getting this very drained feeling, almost like a battery just being completely drained. Like
Hmm.
like if a computer is running really heavy, like that noise that computers make when they're overheating, and it starts to like simmer. That's the energy I'm getting. I don't really know what that means exactly. It feels like an energy of I guess you could say an energy of giving up is what it feels like.
Giving up. Huh.
Like 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 I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of whatever. Yeah, it feels like an energy of giving up.
Is there anything, I know you sort of answered this because you said that he wanted him to know, he wanted Sarah to know that like he wasn't leaving, his family, but is there anything like specific that he wants her to know or he wants his
Let's
boys to know?
let me get my other deck.
We're
Nothing
talking
specific.
to the Reckoning Co. You guys have to, this is Ashley and I call you a medium. Is that fair to say, Ashley? You guys, we're at 182.
Yeah.
We need to get,
Mm-hmm.
I know he would
Yes.
never leave us on his own free will. I know he wouldn't either, Sarah. And that is what Sarah Magnificent Makeup, you guys. She's at 182. We need 18 more to get her up in the box. So please, come on, guys. Keep it going. And this is the Reckoning Co. who is picking up
The,
on David's energy. I call you a medium, the Reckoning Co. because I feel like that's
yeah.
you you call
Yeah.
it like an investigative psychic. Um 15 more is all we need. And she did an amazing reading on David Schultz, who is the missing trucker from Iowa. And so now she is picking up some more energies from him right now. Well, I don't think you have to wait 24 hours after you hit that number, Shelley. I hope you don't. She has 200 now. Okay. So can you get in now, Sarah? Reckoning is spot on, Sarah is saying.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he definitely didn't leave you, Sarah. I can tell you that. Um, it's like he's saying that you can confirm his state of mind. He was in this like sheer state of exhaustion, but you could see that he was pushing forward because it was like this very selfless, I'm gonna keep going even though I'm drained energy. Almost like he's saying that if you look at the situation from him being in that state of mind and kind of being in like a daze almost, where like going through the motions, not necessarily paying all the way attention.
So here's what we're going to do. Sorry, Ashley, really quick. Can you, Sarah, go out and go back in? If that doesn't work, then Crime and Contour, can you reach out to Sarah directly and give her your information so she can use your names, Crime and Contour? So I'm going to let you guys handle that in the background, and Hopefully you guys will come on in the next 5 minutes. So Sarah, look for crime. Oh, wait, we got her. She's on. Here she comes. Yay! Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
We got you. Thank you guys to everybody who helped.
Is
And
there?
Sarah, you were saying to Ashley, what were you saying to Ashley that she's point on?
Yes, everything she's saying is point on. I know that he didn't have anything to do with this. And the area that I think he was taken off of the exit of Highway 20, that would be the perfect spot to take someone just because in that location, if a semi were to park at the stop sign, coming from the south, you wouldn't be able to see anything because the bridge is in the way. You can't see from the top because there's a bridge too close to the exit. You can't see over the side. And from the north, the truck would be blocking it. And then there's empty fields going east and west. So, I mean, but it's fields. It's not like houses. So, it would be the perfect location if you were going to take someone. And just when I pulled up on the scene where I had heard where the truck was, so I went and got his mechanic slash friend, and I asked him if he wanted to go with me to check it out, and he did. So we drove there. It took about 15 minutes. It wasn't far from where I live. And as soon as I pulled up, my stomach got sick. I was like, something's bad, wrong. He would never park this truck this way. And the crime, it wasn't treated like a crime scene. There were people going in and out of the truck. Like I was like, can I go in the truck? And they said, yeah, go ahead. And I thought, well, wait, I'm not, it's a crime. I stopped myself because I was like, no way. Shouldn't there be prints taken? There should have been a barricade up and not even, I shouldn't have even been allowed in there.
Right,
It was completely messed up from the beginning.
right.
Um, the truck, I was like, what are you guys going to do with the truck? And they said, well, I don't know. And right then I said to myself, oh God, Dave, you're in so much trouble. These are the people that are supposed to be helping you. They don't know anything. It's just, and when I got there, the search dog, they were going to let the search dogs look. And my daughter had ended up coming with one of her friends and she jumped in my car. And because the cop told me to go in my car because my scent might contaminate Dave's scent. And because they had found a coat in the ditch across the road, and inside the coat he had a towel and a pocket knife. They were in his jacket pocket. I know Ken McClure, the sheriff, said they were in the ditch. They weren't. They were in his pocket. Um, I feel like maybe they tried to take him and he like got out of his coat because he's for 53 he looks young and he acts young. He's very active. He can run faster than my 10-year-old twins. And I feel like he meanders his way out of the coat, but then they got him and probably put him in a car or something, trunk or something like that. Because the search dog went to where the coat was and then it went to the field access and then it stopped. Like, my job's done. It didn't go any further.
Hmm. Wow. Sarah, that is, well, first of all, I just want to thank you, Sarah, so much for taking the time to join and to do this interview with me. And Ashley, thank you so much for doing that amazing reading. Ashley, you can stay for as long as you want. I would love to have you stay, but I also know you're busy. So if you want to stay, please do. If you have to jump off, totally understand. I'm going to leave that up to you, Ashley. It's because I know how busy you are, but would
Yeah,
love to have
stay
you
on for a
stay.
little bit.
Okay, awesome. So Sarah, I have just been asking people to, I kind of gave a very high level overview before you joined of the story with David. Ashley's been awesome and has been giving, pulling cards throughout, as I'm sure you watched her reading that she did prior to this interview that was
Yes.
just so freaking awesome. And so what I've been doing is compiling questions. I have some questions myself. People have been DMing me questions. And if you're cool with that, I just want to kind of start asking questions. And if you don't feel comfortable asking some or answering some, we can skip those and you can go, as deep as you want on these or, not as deep. You can, I don't feel like answering this. I don't want it. I don't feel comfortable. And that's totally understandable. Okay.
Hmm.
You comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay, great, Sarah. So the first question that a lot of people had were, so he did this run very frequently, right? And that day, why did he come home and change his clothes that day? Was that typical for him to do?
Oh yeah. So he had already done one of those loads earlier in the day. Um, a load from Eagle Grove to Sac. And it's calm. I mean, they run late. Things happen when they're loading and unloading. It makes them take longer and stuff like that. He knew he didn't have time to shower, but he just wanted to rinse off a little bit because it's, he doesn't like to be stinky. He likes to represent, his trucking company well, well dressed and clean. And he was like, when he came home, it's very normal for him. He wears cowboy boots, and you can just hear him stomping around the house, getting his stuff. They're loud, and so it was normal. And at this time, my daughter and my grandson and her boyfriend were here visiting for Thanksgiving, and he'd been working since Sunday. We had Thanksgiving on Sunday with my parents, and so he hadn't been able to see him much. So he wanted to get this over with, this day over with, and then the night over with, and then spend time with them during the day because they were supposed to leave on Wednesday. So yeah, that's really normal for him to run around. He does many loads a day, not just one load, sometimes up to 3 or 4 loads a day. And with little sleep in between, he'll take a nap to what did he call it? To take the edge off. He'll take a nap here and there, but it's common. He works hard. He works too hard. That's his one of his faults is he works too hard.
Hmm.
Yep. And I think that's what Ashley, you picked up on that a lot.
Yep.
Like that was one of the very first things that he said is he works and he's, not making as much money as he should be or he thinks that he deserves because he works so hard.
Yeah, and he's doing it all for his family. So it's like a selfless, I'm getting my butt kicked, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, Dave was living the life that he'd always wanted, and he got it pretty late in life. He was um, in his 40s when he and I got together and had no kids, and we had our twins via in vitro, and he's living the life he always dreamed of having. He always said to me, "Why didn't you meet me sooner? Why didn't we get together sooner?" Um, I've never doubted that he didn't leave. He didn't walk away from his life. He didn't have another woman. He wasn't interested in other women. He was interested in his family. We don't go to the bar, We work, we come home, start over again.
Yep. So Angie has asked about 50 times. So I'm just gonna if he pulled over to give a ride to someone, Ashley, if you know that, if you picked up on that, or Sarah, if you know that.
I don't believe it was to give a ride to someone. There's something that he saw though,
At the
or
truck stop, you think, or was it
some.
at the exit?
So it feels like someone believed that he saw something that he didn't actually like pay attention to see, but then it feels like there's some kind of nuisance on the road that makes him pull over. And the example that I keep getting is like a car swerving like from behind to in front of a truck and like having the truck pull over because the truck thinks, oh, is something wrong? It feels like it didn't happen at the last stop that he was at, but it feels like he was followed from there.
Hmm. Hmm.
And what's interesting is because Sarah was saying that was a good spot to take someone, and in my reading, I got something about waiting for the right like spot on the trail to like pull him over to get him to pull over.
Yeah, and I wanted to say also, his truck was not pulled over at all. It was
Okay.
on the road, well, not even
Oh, it was
touching
on
the
the
white line.
road.
Yes, it was not pulled over. It was just stopped on the road in between the yellow and the white line.
Oh, I just got chills.
Turned
That makes
turned
more
off.
sense,
It was
actually.
turned off. There was no lights on, and it had been there from probably 12, like maybe 1 a.m. to 3, no, more like by the time they got off the road. Well, it was found at about 3 p.m. So it, and
Wow.
That
that,
makes me
yeah.
wonder if someone just pulled in front of him and slammed on the brakes instead
Well,
of getting him to pull over.
there weren't any like blackies on the road there though.
Hmm.
So maybe they did it slowly.
Right.
Yeah, they could have. Oh, yeah, when you said slowly, I got Knight of Swords in reverse. That would be the opposite of a fast-moving energy. So,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Interesting.
Because I did look
Um,
for marks like that on the road when I was there.
there, when you were talking the first time, Sarah, the card that I pulled was you were talking about you going to the scene and feeling like something was wrong, and the card that came out was the Diviner card, which is like a seer of the unseen. And to clarify, I pulled Queen of Cups, so that would be you, the mother. So there's something that you were like picking up on when you were at the scene that you're correct about. It's not something you've mentioned out loud in this live though, but there's something that you picked up on, and I don't know if maybe you didn't bring it up to anyone there, but like you're right about some kind of clue
There
that you
was
picked up on.
there was a cigarette butt on the ground right by the
Oh,
truck, and Dave doesn't smoke, and I thought, whose cigarette butt is that? Shouldn't they bag that? I thought it in my mind.
oh,
And
you were
then I
right.
thought well, surely the police will do that. That they know their job better than me. But surely I was wrong about
Oh.
that.
So
It's
the other
been
card that came out with the Diviner card is the Criminal card. It feels like you're right about that cigarette butt.
yeah, but it's gone now. So,
Um,
it's been 36 days, and the cops handled it so wrong. They didn't know what to do with the truck, so his um mechanic I had his mechanic drive it back to where he normally parks it, and then they left it there for 2 days, and then the cops towed it to search it. Well, you can't take fingerprints or anything after that.
oh wow.
What good is it? It's all been contaminated. Well, potentially, I guess. Potentially.
Yeah, I think it's the cigarette butt that it being pointed out that you were right about.
that makes Sarah, there's video of one of the last bits of video, actually. I think it might be the last video of David where he is at that he's at the traffic stop on Highway 20 and Highway 71 at 12:18 a.m. And I think he's on his phone. Like you can see him walking around scrolling on his phone. Any idea, like, did the phone tell you anything? What do you have any idea what was happening on his phone at that time that was caught on video?
The police have his phone.
So, so you didn't see his phone at all?
No, I know the police have it.
Ashley, do you have any idea? Are you picking up any signs on what that could be about?
And let me
I'm
say that
I'm I'm
Dave
not
is.
picking up what it is about, but I'm picking up what it's not about. It's nothing nefarious. It's nothing
Oh,
like
I
a
know.
plan or anything like
Oh,
that.
I know.
If
And
anything, it may have been like scrolling through a video or social media or something like that, but
David just got on Facebook in January last year.
yeah,
He
it may have been that, but it definitely wasn't any like planning or communicating with anyone. It wasn't that.
No, but the police acted like it was suspicious, which I'm like, everyone scrolls their phone. It's not suspicious.
Right.
And then he was running around his truck. Dave runs in fast forward. When he's working, he's working. He's got to get a job done. And I couldn't watch the video. My parents or my mom and his brother and his dad saw it. I saw a picture that was an exit picture for a DOT camera, and I thought I needed to see it with my own eyes, and then when I saw it was very traumatic for me. So I chose not to watch the video because to me it would be like watching my husband's ghost. It was too much, but I told my mom to watch it, and they didn't think it was suspicious at all when they were looking at it. So
Does he normally get out? Do you think he just got out to like stretch his leg? Because I know the truck stop was closed, right?
I don't know if it was closed or not. I mean, for him to stop, maybe he lost his Copenhagen, or maybe he needed to get a drink, or I don't know. Maybe he just needed to stop for a minute and wake up a little bit. It was, midnight
Right,
or
right,
around that area. It was late at night. He'd already been working since like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
right, right,
So, I mean, for him to stop at a truck stop, I think it's pretty normal for a trucker to stop at a truck stop.
right. To just stretch his legs or whatever. Do you feel like? And listen, it seems as if the police, and I don't want to I don't want to say anything that will get me in trouble, or get this, to get stopped by any means, which is why we have to be careful with the words we say and everything. Do you feel as if there may be something happening with law enforcement, that they might be involved or something, and that is why things are getting handled the way they are?
Uh, I don't know how to answer that properly.
Ashley, are you picking that up in any way?
Yeah, I have a little bit of an answer for that one. It feels like they dropped the ball on the beginning because they thought it was going to be a cut and dry, clear case of a man leaving, and then there's something about at one point they find a piece of evidence that's contradictory to their original thoughts, but then it's too late. It's like they didn't want to admit that they were looking in the wrong
Yeah.
arena the first time.
My fear is, I know you didn't even ask it, but I'm going to tell you. I want the FBI involved like now,
Well, yeah,
like
we talked about
yesterday.
that before you
And
jumped on.
I
We
don't
talked about.
understand why they're not, other than the local police are maybe in fear of embarrassment or might have to work a little harder than they normally have to.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
Sarah, I've seen that with a couple of cases that I've been working on, is that they have done sloppy work or have made mistakes, and that's the exact thing. They don't want to go back and say that they made mistakes, so they close cases or say
yeah.
something that didn't happen. And so, what can be done to help move that in the direction besides putting pressure? Is that all we can do? Is put pressure on law enforcement?
You tell me.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I'm trying to do.
I think that's
Um,
one of the best things
I
I'll do.
I do have, the United Cajun Navy, thank God they reached out to me initially and we got them involved right away. Because we did get a lot of ground searching done and maybe some areas eliminated, but it's been 36 days. My kids want their dad.
Yeah,
I want my husband. Would you let I want to say to the sheriff, would you let your wife be gone for 30 something days before involving the FBI if it were your wife? No, it's not fair and it's not right.
have you, Sarah? Have you called the FBI yourself?
Yes.
And what do
Other
they tell
people
you?
have called. They've said that they can't just go in. They have to be asked by the police. So it's frustrating.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do everything we can on this side from social media to help for sure. With get that
Like,
out and
how
put
long does a
pressure.
person have to be gone? And then he says, the sheriff said in one of the things, well, we know he hasn't left the state. How do you know that if you don't know where he is? How do you
Right.
know he hasn't left the state?
Right.
You can't prove that.
Right. No. Mm-mm. I think what needs to be done is there's got to be pressure. Someone said start a petition. That's a good idea. Call the police daily. Make sure this it's on the news every day. Social media. I mean, we've got to do what can be done to put pressure on the police because that's not right.
Yeah, he's missed 2 holidays now with us.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's
There's
horrible.
something that they misinterpreted or misread about a specific something found in the car. It's like they saw one little thing and ran with it in that direction and tried to make the rest of the evidence fall in line with that. But then they realized that they were wrong about that. I don't know what it is though.
I don't know either. They don't tell me anything. The last I heard from, well, I emailed yesterday one of the cops, but before that, the last I'd heard from the police was December 9th.
Have you gotten any up? That was going to be my next question. Have you gotten any updates from them since?
No, I got, no, that was the major one. No, just that one on the 9th that they put on their Facebook page. And then I've emailed, I have a lady I'm supposed to, like, if I have questions, I'm supposed to go through her. And I've asked for an update once and they just said nothing to update. So I wouldn't even really call that an update. And then yesterday I made a call or I emailed, and I also asked for an update on the reward because it started with 2,000. I know there's more than that in it now. And like, how are we going to keep track of that? How's the public going to know what the reward is if it's not updated? Like, how are they going to do that? I don't know that either.
Right. So is DCI involved? Someone asked.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. And then people are saying, so the county that if people wanted to put pressure on or, is it's Sac City Sheriffs, right?
Sac County Sheriff.
County Sheriff.
Sac County Sheriff, Sac County, Iowa. Sheriff Ken McClure.
Okay. And then have you talked to attorney generals? Anything? Have you talked to any politicians?
No, I do know someone called and talked to the governor for like 20 minutes, but I haven't.
Something definitely okay. So let's get back to that before we've got quite a few more questions. So it was said that he went to a friend's house that night to pick up a truck that his friend worked on or whatnot. Do you know? Can you fill us in on that?
Okay, so um, David, we live in town. We don't have an acreage or anything, and a few blocks from our house is his diesel mechanic, and David parks his pickup there, and then drives his semi from the mechanics to wherever loading's got to go, and then comes back, parks the semi, jumps in his pickup, and comes home. So that's very normal for him to he parks there, so he'll talk to his mechanic because he was fixing up a new Peterbilt, and he only basically has a headlight left on that Peterbilt, and then he was going to sell the red one that he's driving and drive this yellow one. So no, that's very normal what he was doing. He's swung in. His mechanic doesn't always charge his phone, those type, and he's not tech. His mechanic isn't good with phones, so he talks to him one-on-one when he gets back from loads or when he leaves, and that's normal. That's part of his routine.
Someone said that the sheriff is related to the person who owns the confinement grounds. Someone DM'd me that. Do you know anything about that?
I don't. I know the sheriff in Eagle Grove is related to the owner of the confinement there where he picked up, but I don't know about the Wickman in Sac if the sheriff is related to the owner or whatever. I don't know anything. I don't know that for sure. I've heard that too, but I don't know.
Have they searched Lakes area?
I don't think so.
Is there a reason why?
Twin Lakes? Why would they search the Twin Lakes area?
I don't know. Someone just asked me that in a DM.
I don't know. I don't think they searched Twin Lakes. I don't know why they would, I guess, either.
Is it close? Are you picking up anything, Ashley, like in water or anything?
No, I'm not picking up anything.
I know, I do
Water.
want to add something. In the beginning, they were searching the Brushy Creek area. And the reason for that is when he parked at that gas station. So while you're driving, your phone pings stay with you as you travel. When you park, it starts pinging towards the next nearest cell tower. So it pinged all the way down to Brushy Creek while he was parked. So initially they thought he drove down to Brushy Creek, and I was like, there's no way. I don't know why on earth he would ever go down there unless somebody else was driving his truck and they wanted to get rid of him. But they found out later that those pings were from when he was parking at the gas station. So he didn't go down there.
Gotcha. Do you know why he was an hour and a half late that night?
Other than something must have held him up when he was either loading or unloading the previous load.
Yeah, I got automobile as you said that, and change of plans or change of direction.
Yeah, so David was supposed to load first at this pickup that night, and since he was running late, the guy that was supposed to go second went first, and then Dave went after him. So then he wasn't really late. You know what I mean? They just switched up who's going to do the initial load.
Okay, so he technically wasn't late. Like he just switched
Right. They
loads.
yes. So to help keep things moving, they just switched the order in which they load, and so Dave wasn't really that late because There were already going to be two people loading to clean out that barn or those barns.
Okay. So, and there's nothing suspicious that police saw with them on either of those DOT cameras.
No, not. I don't. Initially, they acted like it was suspicious, but when he was telling me, I was like, that's not suspicious at all. Well, he said he was frantically searching in his truck, but to know David, he frantically searches for everything. Like if he can't find something and it's not right in front of him, someone took it, someone moved it. That's how I don't know if it was the cleaners. Here's my son piping up in the background. What the cleaners do with it? He blames it on everyone. I'm like, calm down. Where'd you put it? That's his knee jerk reaction is to frantically search if he can't find it right away.
The cleaners do a great job, though.
Did you hear him?
Yeah.
As you're talking about finding something, I got a card about money. It feels like maybe he couldn't find his wallet or like a card or something like that, and that's what he was looking for.
Yeah, it could have been anything. I don't think that's suspicious at all. He
Yeah,
he
no,
frantically searches for the ketchup. That's my standard saying for him because he just, where's the ketchup? Where's the ketchup? Like that kind of thing. It's him.
it feels like why they're reading it as frantic is because he was tired. Like it's like one of those like I'm tired. I don't feel like having
Yeah,
a problem right now. I just feel like having this go smoothly right now, and it feels like
yeah.
there was like little things one
They
after
took
another
it
that were
wrong.
annoyances. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I get
absolutely.
you. And to me, that'd be normal because I see him like that when he's done working at the end of every day. He's just exhausted.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, again, you, let me just make sure that there's no next questions. Did he have any health problems at all?
Um, so that the day he went missing, his the guy he rents his trailer from. Are you there?
Sorry.
That's right. The guy he rents his trailer from stopped at my house and told me about Dave's missing, and so it takes a while to digest that, and so he said, I'm going to go search for him. I'm going to go up and down Old Highway 20 and New Highway 20, and I'll find him. And so he maybe pulled over to sleep, but he wouldn't do that loaded. I knew that, but I was hoping that that was the case, that he was just sleeping somewhere and he'd be found. But after a few hours, he wasn't finding him, and he called the DOT to ask what to do. And the DOT told him to have me call the non-emergency sheriff's number and report a medical emergency, man missing. Now, Dave has high blood pressure, and in the past he's taken medication for it, but once again he works too much and then never made it to his appointment, so they won't refill it, and he quit taking his medication. And he's 53, so I thought, well, maybe he had a heart attack and didn't wake up. Maybe he pulled over to sleep, and I don't know what happened to him. So, there was a possible medical emergency, but I mean, other than high blood pressure, no, he's in pretty good health, pretty good shape for 53.
So, okay, so how this comes in,
Oh, yeah, he's a little
he was supposed to drop off the hogs at what, like midnight? He didn't show up. So, what time was he recalled? Did the people call and say he never showed up? And they called his boss, I'm assuming, right? And then his boss
Yeah.
showed up to your
Well,
house.
his boss came at 10 a.m.
Okay. And what time was his
So
boss?
I don't know what time his boss was alerted, but he came to my house at 10. And that struck me because he never goes out searching for somebody. And the other reason is Les knows Dave's work ethic and knows this is not like him to not call or and not answer his phone, or that's not Dave at all. So he was really worried.
And so between midnight and 10 a.m., what happened? They thought maybe he's sleeping, or like why was
I
nobody contacted then?
I don't know. I don't know what happened in between. And I don't know why nobody reported the truck in the road, literally sitting on the road all day. I mean, I know it's not a highly traveled road, but it was loaded with pigs.
Right. Actually, are you picking anything up like weird or anything?
I'm not, as she was talking about high blood pressure, I'm not getting that that has anything to do with why he's missing. If anything, that may have added to the exhaustion. Like maybe that was kind of affecting him a little more than normal because of not getting enough sleep or something like that. But it doesn't look
Yeah.
like that's what caused him. It's not like he needed immediate emergency care and like ran off to try and get help. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like
Right.
anything like that.
Yeah. So okay, so he was supposed to be there at midnight, didn't show up, but the guy who he was supposed to drop the pigs off with, and let me get the at Weichman's Hog, right? At Weichman's
Yeah.
Hog buying, never
Yeah.
did anything until 10 o'clock in the morning. Like didn't call the boss until 10 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know what time he called. I just know what time Les showed up at my house.
And Les didn't say anything about what time he called or anything.
No, he asked me, "Do you have Dave on Life 360?" And I said, "No, I never thought about it. I should, but I don't. You know, I didn't use Life 360 before now. I do now,
Yeah.
but it's just I always thought of it kind of for kids, and I didn't really have kids at that age where I needed to use it. So, lesson learned. Anyone learn from my mistake and put that on your phone, all you trucker wives."
Yeah, right, right. And so then he came over at 10 o'clock, and then what happened at 10 o'clock? You called the police right away? You drove and looked for him?
No, no, I didn't call. I didn't call the police right away because I knew Les was out looking for him, and we weren't that too worried yet. But and we tried to kind of. It sounds mean, but let's just try to go out about our day a little bit. Like I said, my daughter was visiting, and we had plans to go out for lunch. And I said, "Should we still go?" And I'm like, "Well." Yeah, and the whole time I went, we were, I was calling him and calling him and calling him. And then on the way back home, I called Les and, I would touch base with Les and I was calling friends of his and family and like, have you seen Dave? And so when Les told me to call, I was more than happy. I was like, okay, that sounds good to me. Let's get her done because, he's not turning up. His phone's not being answered. So, I called the police at 2:30, and at 3 I got a phone call from his phone, and I thought, oh, thank God, here he is. And I'm like, Dave, and she said, no, this is so and so from the police. I have Dave's phone and his wallet and his truck, but he's not here. And I was like, what? It was, it's unbelievable that. So.
And so it took that long. So nobody found his truck. Nobody reported his truck until 3 o'clock the next day.
Yeah.
And it was like on a road facing the wrong way.
No, it was facing north. It was on the right lane, but it was facing north. The direction where he was supposed to unload those pigs was south. He shouldn't have even been up north of Highway 20. He should have been south of Highway 20.
And there's no nav system or anything on his truck that could tell you anything. Someone asked about the gas in his tank. Like, was that like the mileage, anything? None of that told you anything? Like,
I know that there's something that is on newer trucks that can tell you, but his is a 99. And I don't think it has what they are talking about. I don't know about trucks. I'm sorry, but I know that is something on it that can tell you some things, but I don't think his has that.
yeah. I do feel like, and some people said this as well, it's bizarre that they like called you from his phone. I feel like that's a little bit strange. Is that
There's
normal?
so many things that are so strange. Like when, they didn't know what to do with the truck, number one. Then they come and take they didn't even tell me they took the truck. They just took the truck and took it to an area so that they could search it. Then, like several weeks later, they say, "Oh, it was on December 9th." They say, "We're done with the truck. You can go get it." And I said, "Okay, well, where's the keys?" And the sheriff said, "Oh, they're in the truck." He stuttered around, and then he said, "No, they're at Denny's, Texaco. They're either in the truck or at Denny's." So me and his mechanic drive over there. They aren't in the truck. They aren't at Denny's. Go to the sheriff's office. No one's there. Hunt down a cop, and I'm like, "Hey, I need the keys." They said they're done with the truck. Well, I need the keys to drive it. Well, I don't know where they are. We'll get back to you. So I go home, and I get a call a couple hours later. "We have the keys if you want to come get them." And I said, "No, I'm done for the day. You can bring them here now." They didn't even know where the keys were. They bring them to me in a specimen bag. Like we've been treated like we're not victims. We are victims here, not guilty parties.
Absolutely.
It's been awful. It's been traumatic.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's horrible. I can't. We're going through all this, and
Absolutely. Absolutely. What did you talk? I'm assuming you talked to his friend who last saw him, the one who helped him with his truck, the one who he changed
yeah,
those sort
yeah.
of schedules with or whatever he said. What did he say?
He's crushed. He was on the list too. Like they were acting like he was part of it, and he's not. They're friends. It's his mechanic. He's been working. He does work for Dave. Dave owes him money. That wouldn't be the way to get it back. It would be to get rid of Dave, his friend who, recently he didn't have his license, and we made sure he ate at our table with us. He this big greasy old man cries, he just shakes, he quivers, he's heartbroken he misses his friend.
So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just so sad.
It's
Um,
not social media. I can
it's
know
so
that.
sad.
Saying that the
And
friend
so
has no idea or the mechanic, he has no idea what happened.
No, he doesn't.
It does feel like he may have been like the last conversation between the two of them. It feels like your husband was trying to help him work through some kind of problem, or at least was like supporting him without knowing it. But it doesn't look like he has any idea of anything.
No, he's innocent. I know he's misses his friend.
Yeah.
I tease Dave. How's your other wife? Because you know, he's there. He gets to see my husband before he gets home.
Yeah, he
so
definitely views your husband as a very good friend, like a very like either your husband gives very good advice or he knows just the right things to say to get that friend to kind of snap back into it type
Yes,
energy.
yes, absolutely. And like he's helped him out in other ways. Like he got low on money. He got his electricity turned off. Dave paid for his power to be turned back on at the shop. Stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm
Like
picking up.
he's a
Yeah.
good friend.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking up on that.
Yeah.
and, and so Les is his boss. Is that who Les is?
Yes, and I've had people say too they feel like Les is involved. Les is not involved. He's a sweet older man near retirement. He barely swears. Like he's a Christian man. He's not involved in any of this. And I want to clear that up too because he's just he's Dave's best worker. I mean, they respect each other. It's not Les has nothing nefarious to do with Dave's disappearance.
And you can, what happened to the pigs? People are wanting to know. Like they were still in the truck overnight.
Okay, yeah, so Les got another trailer and they backed the trailer up to Dave's trailer and unload him onto that trailer and then finish the delivery that way. That's how they do that when a truck breaks down they back another trailer up and they just unload them from the road like that on from one to another.
So can you give us a little bit of timeline of sort of the night? So he like what time Dave showed up at your house? What time like he finished it at his friend's house? Sort of all like was last seen at like what 12, 16 p.m. Sort of your timeline based on what you know.
So he came here probably about 7, a little after 7, and was gone by about 7:30. I don't know much after that, to be honest. I mean, I didn't really talk to him. My daughter was home visiting, and he it was normal for him to not be home nights. So, 3 out of 5 nights a week, he might not be home. He might work till 1 and then go park to where he's going to load the next morning at 6 in the morning, rather than go home. And he always had a fear of oversleeping, and so he always felt safer sleeping where he needed to load the next day because then he's already there. If he oversleeps, he's right there.
Right.
So I mean, we didn't keep in close touch. Like it's just the way of life of a bull hauler. I don't know. I don't know his schedule from week to week. I only know the day before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes the same day, he might throw another load on him in the afternoon. Like it's just you kind of fly by the seat of your pants, and that's just the way we live. It's normal for us.
And So what time did he leave his friend's house, though? Do you have any idea?
Well, it's not his house, it's his shop.
His shop, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I would imagine he chatted and got the truck warmed up. Probably, I would say he's probably gone by 8, but I don't know for sure.
Right, right. Um, what do you think, Sarah? What do you think? Because I'm very cognizant of time. I try to do that whenever I do interviews with people because I know that it's a lot. What do you think, Sarah, happened?
Exactly what, I'm sorry, what's the woman's name with the reckoning?
Ashley.
Ashley. Ashley's spot on. That's exactly what I think happened. I don't think we know who or why they took him, but he had nothing to do with it. He was a victim. One of the other psychics said it was a grab and go. I don't know why. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is maybe somebody needs a good driver, and Dave is good at keeping livestock alive. Maybe they need to haul people or something. I don't know. Human trafficking. I don't know. I don't have a clue why they would take him. But I think
Did you pick up anything about a grab and go or anything?
I mean, I guess you could call it a grab and go. Yeah, I just keep getting kind of similar to what she's saying. Nobody has any idea. Nobody could have seen this coming because it's not something that he was personally like attached
involved
to.
in. Yeah.
It's like something completely separate from him that's like quite simply wrong place, wrong time. But like a wrong place, wrong time situation that followed him until they were able to grab him. So I guess you could say grab and go. It's like see something, wrong place, wrong time, and then get it to the point where they can grab him and go.
Yeah, and um I really don't think it was anything because I mentioned my daughter was here visiting. She lives in Fort Lauderdale, and he hasn't seen her for like a year and a half, and my grandson, and they have a good relationship. She calls him dad, and he wanted to get done and come home and spend some time with her while she's visiting because she was only going to be here one more day, and this was not something he planned, especially given she's here and my whole family, is together, and family is very important to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to reemphasize for the new people who have come in and have asked a couple of times. You and Dave were not separated. You and Dave
No.
were having issues. I mean, listen, every married couple has issues. That's just the reality of
Yeah.
it. And
Our children were in vitro. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's how we had our twins. Is my tubes were tied after I had my son and my daughter, his stepkids, and he didn't have kids of his own. He always wanted a family, so we got married, and within 2 months we were looking into in vitro, and we're successful at the first round, and we made it through a lot of tough things in our marriage, things that most people wouldn't have made it through. It's stressful situation, even owning your own business and twins. Those things alone have a high divorce rate.
yeah,
And we were strong. We made it through all that. And then to have him taken, it's like, this isn't fair. We put in a lot of work to keep this marriage together, and in marriage is work, but he didn't deserve it.
sorry. And there were no issues with your daughter's father and Dave that you knew of or anything like that that was.
No, I mean, they didn't love each other by any means, but no, her dad lives in Minnesota, and he has a family of his own, and he didn't love him, but didn't want him, gone either. So I wouldn't think. I don't talk to him, but
Right. Well, in how I know this is a ridiculous.
and we've been divorced for 21 years. It's not like a fresh thing.
Right. I know, with the holidays and everything, this is probably a ridiculous question, but how are your boys handling it? How are they doing?
Their dad wasn't home a lot, like every night of the week, so that we're kind of used to him not being here, but we're not used to him not ever coming home. They're doing well, I think, given the circumstances. I've been with him every day with this Christmas break and Thanksgiving, and we're in counseling. That's why I was late coming in initially. Was we had trauma counseling. We're doing it weekly right now, and she says they're doing real well. And
Good. Good. And I know that there is, let me just give you guys a couple of numbers because there are numbers you can call if, the Sac County Sheriff's, there are numbers if you guys want to write these down. But you can also look on my videos because there is his missing poster is on there, and I am committed to keeping you guys updated. Was his jacket on him when he was last seen? Do we know that, Sarah?
yes, that's another thing I wanted to mention too. That the jacket. I saw him put the jacket on, and there's something about the jacket that sticks out to me, and I don't want to mention it, but the jacket was in the trunk of the cop car when I got there. They didn't show it to me, but asked me to describe it, and I did. Well, one of the psychics who reached out to me asked this specific detail about this jacket, and that psychic was right on, and so I know exactly what jacket was worn. Sorry, I forgot where I was going with that, but I did speak to that psychic because she proved to me like, hey, she knew something other people didn't know. It's not Googleable, I guess is the word.
Yeah. Is that the jacket that was found in the ditch?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he wearing the jacket in the surveillance videos?
I can't remember. I didn't look at the video, and I don't remember if he had it on in the picture that I saw.
Right.
But the picture was him. I thought I needed to see it, and I wished I hadn't looked.
I'm so sorry. So I wanted to say this. I am committed to keeping you guys up to date on Dave's story and doing whatever, Sarah, I can do to help. Please, I'm committed. And Ashley, I just want to thank you again for doing your amazing.
Yes, Ashley. Everything. I don't mean to interrupt. Sorry,
no,
but
please.
Ashley, you're spot on. I've seen a few people doing these readings, and I was like, no, you're off base. But you've been spot on with everything you've said, and I think you do have a talent because you're hitting the nail on the head with everything.
Thank you. Yeah, any way I can help, just let me know.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you being here today, Ashley. And like Sarah said, and I am a Buffalo Bills fan. Yes, Sally, I don't know what you said, but I just saw Buffalo Bills fan. There is a $2,000 reward, but like Sarah said, she thinks that's going up more. So
I know for sure. It's at least $2,500 because the mechanic gave me $500 from someone to put into it. So I know it's a minimum $25, but I know my mom reached out to Peterbilt to see if they would help, and other trucking agencies and stuff like that. So I'm sure it's gone up. I just don't know I don't know what it is.
So Sarah, I'll reach out to you and because I want to do a video later today on how we can help. I think we talked about some good ways in regards to talking to the Go Bills is right, talking to the media, talking possibly to the governor, talking to the politicians. I want to keep this story out there because, Sarah, we want to do everything we can to get some pressure on the police, to get the FBI involved. Let's do this together. You guys, we have 300 people watching now. We've had people in and out. So let's do what we can do to help Sarah. There's at least a $2,500 reward right now for any information leading to where David might be. Ashley is picking up that he still could be out there. We don't know that he is gone. Let's pray that he isn't. So, you're in our prayers, Sarah, that he is still out there. If anybody has any information on where David might be, you can call the Sac County Sheriff's at 712-662-7127 or 712-262-1873. There is also a GoFundMe that has been set up for Sarah and her family. I will put that. This will be on my YouTube channel, which is same number. I will put that link on my YouTube channel as well, in case anybody wants to donate and help Sarah with any of the needs that they may have right now. As you know, expenses pile up when you're going through something like this. And if nothing else, we will all be praying for you, Sarah. and, hoping for the best for you. And we'll definitely keep you all updated on this case. And hopefully we'll be, following up with some good news on this. So with that, is there anything else, Sarah, that you would like to add?
No, you mentioned you hope he's alive. I hope he comes in with some die-hard story. I was climbing through a vent and I could just almost hear him. He tends to stretch stories about like the day the children were born. There was blood everywhere, and he makes it so grotesque. But I can imagine him saying the story, and I hope to God someday I get to hear it.
You will. You will, Sarah. We're keeping you all in our prayers, and that's we're gonna have a good outcome on this. Ashley, is there anything else that you want to add? Again, thank you, Ashley. I can't even tell you how much this means for you being
My
here the whole
pleasure.
time, doing the reading.
No, I'm just getting something about like a little inside joke, Sarah, that the two of you had that it would be helpful for you to remember that in like a happy way. There's like some like I don't know, I can't put my finger on what it is. It's almost like a like a secret, not like a handshake, but like there's something that the two of you would always banter about or like connect about. It's like he's trying to bring that up. I'm not really sure what it is, but it basically I split the deck to the communication side and inside. It's like an inside joke. Like he wants maybe there's a clue within an inside joke or a confirmation within an inside joke, but there's this feeling of like allow yourself to take a breath, allow yourself to still take care of yourself during this time, Sarah. Um, you're doing the best that you can and you're doing the right things is really just what I'm picking up on. Like don't be too hard on yourself for the other people not giving you the help that you deserve to get. That's nothing about you. It's something that it feels like they dropped the ball and they're trying to hide that they dropped the ball. And I know that like you're questioning, is it something I did or said? It's not. It's nothing with you. You're doing everything that you need to be doing and you're doing it right. That's really just what I'm picking up on.
Okay.
I love that. Thank you so much, Ashley. And Sarah, thank you so much. I will be sending you a message shortly so I can update everyone on, just exactly what we can be doing to help you. I want to make sure we get that right and we don't overstep our boundaries, but we do want to help you, Sarah. And so to everybody else who's watching, as always, thank you guys. I love you guys for watching, for all of your questions, for all of your love, for Sarah and Ashley, and you guys are amazing. So with that, thank you guys. We'll be praying for you, Sarah. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ashley, and have a great night, everybody. Bye.
My prayers are with you, Sarah.
Thank you. Goodbye.